So, ladies and gentlemen, one more time for the University of Southern California Marching Band in honor of our own President Emeritus, Paul Krikorian. Now we have a video that we'll see, and we'll hear from members of the council after that.
My name's Paul Krikorian. I'm the council member for the 2nd Council District in the San Fernando Valley.
Let's pause the video. We're not going to have any more disruptions. I want to issue a broad warning to a number of people who are booing at this moment or otherwise being disruptive, which will be followed by a second warning and dismissal from this meeting. Thank you.
Culmination of a long journey of my family from the time that my grandfather first immigrated to this country over 100 years ago. So from that beginning to then growing up with my dad, a guy who was passionate about Los Angeles, really cared about this city very deeply and commented every time we drove down the Harbor Freeway when he'd point at City Hall and say, "Look at my City Hall."
Welcome to your Los Angeles City Hall.
I know there are several members who'd like to get. All right, sergeants, we're going to ask you to remove anybody who continues to boo. We've given a full warning to everybody in the chamber who's booing, and we'll ask the sergeants to identify and remove folks who continue to do so. The city who gets up every morning and works as hard. Sergeants.
So I believe I'm hearing Adam Smith multiple times during the video and then also just now. So, Mr. Smith, you have been warned multiple times throughout this meeting and are eligible for removal. I was also informed that I believe Mr. Segura Bollinger was also one of the people who was interrupting, and I did hear Mr. Spindler's voice earlier.
Mr. Smith, you're removed from this meeting. Mr. Smith is removed from this meeting. The gentleman in the black sunglasses, you're removed from this meeting. The gentleman in the black hat and the beard, you're removed from this meeting. Gentleman in the sunglasses, Mr. Smith, the gentleman in the black hat.
Mr. Smith, you've been excused from this meeting. You've also interrupted the video multiple times as well.
Yeah. All right, this council is in recess. I'm going to ask the sergeants to clear the chambers. All right, we're back in session. I'll ask the clerk to call the roll to formally bring us back to order.
Yes, Mr. President. Blumenfield, De Leon, Harris Dawson, Hernandez, Hutt, Krikorian, Lee, McOsker, Padilla, Park, Price, Rahman, Rodriguez, Soto Martinez, Yaroslavsky. 12 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
All right, thank you so much. We'll continue our celebration of Council President Emeritus Paul Krikorian. And this meeting is, yes, a big round of applause. The Council President Emeritus is no stranger to challenging council meetings in this chamber. So it's strangely appropriate that we have this little interruption today.
Students at SC, faculty, friends that are here with us today, we want to present you with a basketball ball from the USC basketball, women's basketball team.
I just want to take a moment and say thank you, Paul. We had some very trying times, and you really knew how to lead us. You led the ship without worry. I say you're Batman because you came in and with your cape and saved Gotham. And I just want to thank you for everything you did for me and with me, make sure that my experience was equitable. So thank you so much. I look forward to working with you in the future. And you will definitely be missed. Thank you.
Mr. Krikorian, this moment feels really bittersweet in a lot of ways. For me personally, I just wanted to say that when we came in, so many of us knew at the end of 2022, it was obviously a very dark and challenging time for our city. There was a lot of uncertainty, and those of us who were new were starting to find our paths here in City Hall. And I wanted to thank you for the work that you did with each of us, to mentor us, to get us wrapped into the daily life of governing here in City Hall. And I personally so appreciated the way that you found ways to plug each of us in with work that aligns with our interests, our skill sets, our backgrounds, and the things that matter to us the most. Your leadership gave me the confidence that I needed to start this crazy journey as a first-time council member. The mentorship and the leadership that you brought to this room was extraordinary. You were the exact right person to lead this council during these last couple of years. Your service to the city over your many years here in City Hall is something that we all owe you a debt of gratitude for, and our city is better off for your service, Paul. I'm also, as chair of our Olympics committee, incredibly grateful and excited that you're going to be around and on deck, and I look forward to our continued friendship and partnership. Congratulations.
Thanks so much, Council President. I just want to say, Councilmember Krikorian, just for everything that you did for especially the freshman class coming in. You know, we're not going to rehash history, but we know it was a very difficult time. And I think the thing that I will always think about is that your steady hand, your mentorship, the way we communicated and committed to getting ourselves out of this, I think was super important. And it was, you were the correct skipper that we needed at that time. And so I want to give you a gift as well. And it's a Tommy Lasorda bobblehead because, you know, just like the Dodgers needed the right skipper to win the championship, you were the right skipper for us at the time. So this is for you. Thank you.
Councilmember Krikorian, I think you know how sad and how unreal it's going to be for me to be on council and not have you here. I know that my council members have all talked about what sort of colleague you are, and I second those emotions. But what I would say too is, as someone who's your neighbor and someone who you represent the region that I grew up in when I was much younger, I want to thank you for just being a great council member. I want to say it from the perspective of someone that is, a constituent and a neighbor, because that district has transformed since you got there. Seeing all of those images of the parks and how much you've cleaned them and how much you've added on to the green space, it's a big deal, and it's something that I aspire to do myself. So congratulations. I'm excited that you're still going to be around and that you're really going to help us with these big events that are coming and are going to put us on a global platform. So this is not goodbye. It's just see you later, because we're going to keep working.
Council President Krikorian, even before the tapes, I think folks were really scared about what the city was going to look like with this new freshman class. I think people thought that we were going to burn it down or, break all the china in the china shop, which is not outside of our spectrum, but it's not what we came here to do, right? We came here to govern and to build. And you really opened that space for us to do that, for us to be able to grow. You challenged us in ways that have made us better legislators. And you don't get to go far away. So don't feel like you get to get out of this place, because in the next role that you're going to be taking, you're going to be helping elevate our city and continuing to elevate our city. So that's what brings me a lot of hope and relief to know that we can still lean on you, because history repeats itself. And oftentimes we're in here and you're talking about things that have happened in the past that we have new solutions for that you're leading. And I just hope that we can keep recreating that, right? Let's get to the solutions. Let's do the work. And that's your attitude. Just grinding, grinding, grinding. But also investing in the folks that you work with. So thank you. And I hope that one day we can all around this horseshoe exude the love that you have for this city as you exude it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Councilmember McCosker.
Thank you so much. Council President Emeritus, I liked everything about you until I heard your walk-up music today. I want to thank you for the strength and the grace and the dignity and the professionalism you've brought to this job, but certainly as the freshmen came aboard that you brought to the city. It was often quiet. Sometimes it wasn't quiet, but it was strong. And so we appreciate you. Appreciate you very much for being the right person at the right time to steer the ship in a way that gets us to where we are today, which I think is very promising. And we all appreciate that we're going to be close to you on future endeavors to make this city even greater. Thank you.
Councilman Krikorian, I believe this might be the third or fourth time you're hearing this, because there are so many different organizations celebrating the time that you've given to the city of Los Angeles. But I'll say it one more time. As the council member who's probably worked in this building the longest, over 20 years, we all know how different it is once you sit in this chair. And for me to have someone like you sit next to me, to watch you do the work, to watch you speak so eloquently on a number of different subjects, and it was really so incredibly helpful as a new member. I want to thank you for how you led this council through very, very tough times, a sentiment I know you'll hear over and over again from us, because we needed a leader like you at that time. You were the right person for that job, and I just want to thank you not only for the times here, but for your overall friendship through the years.
We all know that no one eats Cool Ranch Doritos with the precision that you do. And that was we always knew when things are getting tough, the Doritos would come out. And toward that end, since I saw a few people use props from the entire council, we wanted to present you with a party-sized bag of Cool Ranch Doritos.
Thank you. That's not a party, that's lunch.
That's lunch, but in all seriousness, you have been a great friend, a great partner. You have made this city better. You have left your mark, and that mark continues, and you will continue in an Olympic-sized way of doing great things. So thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
I want to ask you to come back and take this seat that you sat in such a critical time in this history. And I'm going to present you with some gifts as well. On behalf of the University of University of Southern California, I want to donate to you, gift to you the 24 jersey with, and this took orders from the president's office, Krikorian's name on the back of the jersey. And from the Los Angeles Dodgers, for the 26th president of the Los Angeles City Council, a Dodgers jersey in the number of 26. And the floor is yours, Mr. Council President.
Thank you very much, Mr. President and members. Wow, this is awesome. And by the way, USC does not put names on the back of its jersey because it's, you know, it's what's on the front of the jersey that matters, not what's on the back of the jersey. So, and that applies for us too, which makes me a little bit uncomfortable about all this. And I will say, the President said it was okay. Thank you. Well, I mean about all of this, because I got to tell you, after I've literally been an elected official now for 21 years in one capacity or another, and maybe for the first time in that 21 years, I'm almost speechless by all this. So, thank you, but only almost speechless, not quite speechless. And it's been an incredible journey that this has been for me. It's so appropriate that we're also recognizing Jackie Goldberg today for her life of service as well. And is Jackie here?
Yeah.
Okay, there she is. There she is. There she. Jackie, I'm so delighted that you're here today because. For those of you who don't know, 31 years ago, I started a Democratic club called Democrats for Neighborhood Action, and the very first thing that we did as a club was help elect Jackie Goldberg to this body in 1993. And so, and it was actually through that campaign that I met my consultant, Eric Hakopian, and the group of us went on to create a whole new way of empowering the Armenian community and underserved communities in our area and bringing them into the electoral process. And all of that was because of the work that we started with a great leader and a great council member, at the time a great school board member, somebody with courage and moral clarity like Jackie, who has been a great mentor as well. So Jackie, congratulations to you for your life of service as well. Members, you all know that I love this institution a lot, and I've been so privileged to serve with 30-some council members, 3 mayors, and especially all of you. This has been just the most, the greatest honor I could ever imagine having was to be your colleague. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go. Believe it or not, I'm going to let it go. But truly, it has been such an honor to call all of you my friends, my colleagues. We've disagreed. Every one of you has disagreed with me on something. And if you didn't, you wouldn't be doing your job, and neither would I. And so as I leave here, none of you needs my advice. You're all, you've all been elected because of your skills and judgment, and you don't need any advice from me. But the one thought I would leave with you is that it's okay. It's okay when we have disagreement. It's okay when we, debate one another. Just remember that we're all doing that on behalf of what we think is best for our constituents and for this city, and be collegial about it. And if we do that, this institution will continue to advance forward and make our city proud. If I've taken you on my tour, I've told you before about the Lindbergh Beacon, and so forgive me if this is repetitive for some of you, but 100 years ago when this building was being planned to be opened. The leaders of Los Angeles invited Charles Lindbergh to come out and be part of the parades and the festivities leading up to the opening. And Lindbergh, who was at that time, being honored every place in the country, said, enough already. I don't need, to be honored personally, by this. If you want to honor me, just do something good for pilots. Do something that will be helpful for pilots. And so they put the Lindbergh Beacon on the very pinnacle of City Hall. And I feel that way right now because I keep having these things where people are sending me off, and it means the world to me, and thank you all very much. It really does. But honestly, what matters to me most is what you all do going forward in this building and how you can continue to make our city better and make the city proud and continue the transition that we've started, the process of reform. Continue to make this city a better place than it was when you started. And just know that you have precious few minutes to get that done. Because you may think it's going to be a long time, but I can tell you from where I'm sitting right now, it goes really fast. So continue to do the great work that you've done and make this city proud of you. Thank you very much for your willingness to serve, and thank you very much for allowing me to be your colleague. Thank you. This is awesome.
That happened in the 90s. But we do have a special guest here today, so I want to cede the floor to our incredible mayor, Mayor Karen Bass.
Thank you. Thank you, council member. I was sitting in my office and I saw this celebration of one of our Angelino heroes, and I said, oh, let me come. I hope they won't mind if I come and jump in and say a few words. First of all, this is a great reunion because many of us here have known each other for more decades than we want to talk about. But it's wonderful to be here and celebrate you and your leadership. So I just wanted to come and say a few words personally. I don't remember exactly when I met you, but you were a leader. We knew that, and those of us who were coming along behind, kind of like the difference between me and you, is that we looked at folks who had been involved before us, people that we looked up at as a little bit older, way more experienced, to teach the next generation. And so when I was at... That's right. I was working in the emergency room at County Hospital, and in the evenings and on the weekends was when I did my political activity, because during those days, no one told us we could get paid to do political activity. So all of us had different jobs, and most of us didn't even know what our day job was, because we just knew each other in terms of our activist lives. And so starting Community Coalition and doing work in an entirely different way, I looked to you when you were sitting on this horseshoe, and what we would do at Community Coalition was mobilize a couple of hundred residents that would come here, and usually we were objecting, sometimes supporting different land use issues, and we looked to you. We looked to you because we knew that you would always be there supporting us in any of the work that was going on in a grassroots way. And so you were the leader then, and then you went up to Sacramento. And I know when I was approached about I should run for the state assembly, and that was Miguel Contreras, by the way, who proposed that. I went to the county fed to hit him up for our annual gala, and he hit me up about the 47th district, and I called you up and I said, why on earth would I want to go to Sacramento? Why would I want to go up there? And you said you had a sober talk with me, and you basically said, you know, all of those issues that you're working on in the community, you can actually get involved in those issues in the legislature. But you also told me this important lesson. You said, Karen, it's not always about what you're going to come here and do and support. Sometimes sometimes the role of being in the legislature is to stop bad things from happening. I don't know if you remember that conversation. We had that conversation in your office. But you were always there. You were there to help me get adjusted, because what the public doesn't know is that when you get elected to office, it's not like you go to city council school. You kind of are there and you kind of have to figure out your way. So what I've done all my life is always look to people who've been there before me, people who are elders, people who were more experienced, and ask them to show me the way. And that's exactly what you did for me. I will always remember that. And I know that I'm here now, something I would have never imagined doing in a million years, and you know that, and many of you here know that. But I'm here today because I stand on your shoulders. Thank you so much, Jackie.
Thank you so much, Council President, for letting me do two today. This is a holdover from one of the last few meetings that we had. But, you know, the great Sandra Cisneros once said that the beauty of literature is to allow readers to see things through other people's eyes. So today, in the wake of a national election that has made the need for other perspectives so clear, I want to celebrate a few Latino voices in literature that have made a major impact on my life. Standing behind me are three great authors who have moved me emotionally, inspired me, and one of them made me laugh a lot as I was reading his book. In many ways, it's hard to put into words the thoughts and feelings that have been drawn out of me, but luckily the folks behind me are much better with words than I am. They use their words to shine a light on the forgotten, to add perspective, to bring beauty, color to our pain and our suffering, and create art that shows us the true spirit of humanity. Personally, as someone who has always enjoyed reading, I've often found it difficult to find stories, whether fiction or nonfiction, that spoke to my life experience and the experiences of the Latino community. We know that the Latino community is a very diverse one, with cultural identities spanning from the Caribbean to South Central America and North America. These three Latino authors, each in their own unique way, have given voices to the disenfranchised, to immigrants, and to hardworking people here in Los Angeles. Our first speaker today was a writer on the critically acclaimed TV show Jane the Virgin, before publishing Illegally Yours, a hilarious and poignant memoir about his family's life as an undocumented immigrant from Ecuador. When reading this book, not only was it very funny, but it really showed someone who came here and struggled through their own life experiences and traversed almost all of Southern California. I think he must have lived in a few of our council districts at some point. And so please welcome me in joining Rafael Agustin.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Councilmember Soto Martinez. And thank you for this entire council for this recognition. Like so many undocumented students, I discovered the truth of my status while applying to go to college in high school. I didn't know. My mom always sheltered me from the brutality of being undocumented. And when I asked her why she kept this very important piece of information from me, what she said changed my life forever. She said, your dad and I didn't tell you because we didn't want you to grow up feeling different, because dreams should not have borders. I took that line, put it in the book, and I refused to give her royalties for it. With that said, I wrote the book Illegally Yours as a way to help write undocumented Americans into existence, not the kind that we strategically see on our nightly news, jumping fences and invading our nation. I simply wanted to tell the story of my mom and dad, two people who loved this country so much that they sacrificed everything for it. Two people who went from being medical doctors in South America to working at a car wash and at a Kmart in the United States to give me a shot at a better life. And two people who taught me the hardest truth that this country has to offer, and that's that the American dream is not for you, but for your children. And the work that you do here ensures that those children can start to pursue those dreams. So thank you so much for this recognition, and thank you for the work that you're doing to protect our immigrant, refugee, and undocumented communities, because as we all know, we only make our economy stronger, our workforce younger, and you can't deny that we make our food taste so much better. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rafael. I told you he was funny. And so up next, we have a writer that has been part of the story of Los Angeles for many decades. Hector Tobar is a journalist and novelist with numerous award-winning books, and I'm proud to say that he spent much of his life as a resident of District 13 right in East Hollywood. He's also the son of Guatemalan immigrants and has written about that experience extensively. Last year, I was inspired to read his book after hearing him have a conversation at the LA Times Book Festival with one of our other esteemed writers, Gustavo Arellano. And when I read that book, I found it poetic, prophetic, poignant, and it really spoke to a lot of the emotions that we oftentimes struggle as Latinos who wondering what is our identity as someone who has parents who migrated here. And so it's a huge honor to have him here today. So please welcome Hector Tobar.
Thank you, Councilman Soto Martinez, for the recognition. Thank you for the honor of the recognition and also the honor of inviting us all to be here on Jackie Goldberg Day, which is a special day for all of us. I was born and raised in the city of Los Angeles, the son of Guatemalan immigrants, born in East Hollywood on Madison Avenue, across the street from the public library. And I came to know Los Angeles as a city of hope and possibility, a city that where the freeways were still being built and then stopped by community protest. I came to this building many times, this locus of power and profit-making and justice-making sometimes, as a reporter for the LA Times, and came to respect many of the people who worked here, many of them with roots in activism, and having a tremendous amount of respect for the people also who would be on the other side of this microphone, lining up to make their comments and to give their voice to make this a better city. Now we live in a time of increasing inequality and injustice in the city. I've seen this as a lifelong resident. I never thought I would live to see the day when we had camps of the unhoused next to million-dollar homes, which describes the situation in my current Los Angeles neighborhood, Mount Washington. So I just want to say thank you again to the councilman, and I want to say a prayer to all of you who work here, that the gods of wisdom and justice continue to inform your deliberations as you fight to make Los Angeles the city of hopes and dreams that we've always wanted to make it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hector. And finally, I'd like to introduce our last incredible author of the day. Jean Guerrero is an award-winning author, former LA Times columnist, and current New York Times columnist. Her first book, Crux, a cross-border memoir, explored borders, both physical and spiritual, her relationship with her father, and her own Mexican and Puerto Rican cultural identity. Her most recent book, Hate Monger, about Donald Trump, Steve Miller, and the white nationalist agenda is particularly important in this moment. When I read this book, I was traveling down California and I was listening to an audiobook. I wasn't reading. But I saw a Trump protest, and understanding the roots of white nationalism and the agenda that is happening now through her book, I think gave me an inspiration to continue to fight, to continue to build community and try to give a different vision for what our city should look like. And so please welcome me in joining Jean Guerrero.
Thank you so much for this honor, council member and the rest of the council. It's great to be here. It's such an honor to be recognized alongside Rafael and Hector, whose work is just outstanding. I just want to take a moment to note the fact that we're going to be seeing unprecedented attacks on writers and journalists from the scapegoated communities, from the communities that Trump is targeting. But I believe that our voices are more important now than ever. I've personally experienced an increase in harassment and threats since Trump was announced victor. And so I just want to let you all know that the support here is incredibly important, and support for authors whose voices are being suppressed. And briefly, I also just want to recognize my dear friend, Adam Valen Levinson, an incredible author who left us last week, and it's been hard for me to think about much else. He is somebody who dedicated his life to humanizing the people that we've been taught to fear. He wrote a book called The Abu Dhabi Bar Mitzvah that is a beautiful, beautiful book and a testament to love in the face of hatred. I met him when I was writing Crux, my first book in my MFA program. And he was struggling for a long time. And he chose to leave us last week, but I just want to make sure that we carry his memory, and I hope people look up his work because it's incredibly important, especially right now in this moment. Ultimately, books, I think, are about making us feel less alone and helping us to have more empathy for one another. And reading is something that I see as a pathway to connecting with others. And so I'll close with just a reminder to please hold the people that you love very closely because you never know when they're going to leave you. And I think ultimately that is what literature and writing is about connecting us all together. And thank you so much for this honor.
Thank you so much, Jean. I encourage everyone here and out in the public to read these books, have the courage to read these books, and understand why now more than ever declaring the city, this sanctuary city, was important, and why we must continue to fight and build a movement here in Los Angeles. Because as the great Toni Morrison once said, books are a form of political action. Books are knowledge. Books are reflection. Books change your mind. And now it's my pleasure to present to Rafael, Hector, and Jean each a certificate honoring their contributions to the world of literature, and especially to the stories and culture of Latino people living here in Los Angeles and around the world. Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm here today to raise my concern in general about our roads in the city. Earlier this year, after the rain, I encountered 2 potholes that left me on the rim, broke my rim, ruined my tires. To this day, I'm still trying to get refunded from that. And with the rain coming up again, with rainy season, it's imperative that our roads are maintained correctly because it puts the people's everyday lives in jeopardy on these roads. I don't think enough money is spent to maintain our roads in this city and to make sure that they're drivable. That day that I encountered the potholes, I could have been rear-ended on La Cienega Boulevard, 10 p.m. at night by myself. 4 other cars ended up on the rim as well from the same pothole. It's unacceptable. And I think that there needs to be a better process for issuing refunds due to, things like this.
Make this city a better place.
Good afternoon. Which item did you like to speak to?
Yes, general public comment. Brother
1 minute.
Brother Pancake, Los Angeles Community Action Network. City Council has blood on its hands for the refusal to act decisively against rampant anti-blackness in this city. You have chosen to embrace Kevin Alexander Leon and treat him like a legitimate leader against popular and political demands to do otherwise. Your blind eyes to anti-blackness puts us all at risk and deepens the division. You are irresponsible and unfit to live. I'm disappointed in you, Kevin Alone. Isn't it something that your successor will be in your former seat on your birthday? Whose city? Our city, our shame. Born and raised in LA, in the same space as Dr. King in the 60s. I ain't forgot. Tom Bradley, rest in power.
1993, I was here when Miss Goldberg walked in this room. I was one of those Republicans, moderate, but I was stunned by her. I was amazed by her. I was here when she left in her final year, I believe it was 2001. She was never afraid to hear my words. She allowed me to speak. She was not afraid. Mr. Krikorian, thank you because you allowed me. You were not going to do what Ms. Martinez had done, try to silence me. So I thank you for allowing me. I have a question for this council. Mr. McCosker, I really want to direct this at you. Why? Why are those of you who have the potential to bring this city back, those of you who have quality, goodness in your hearts, why are you allowing the crooks in this place, the few who are doing that? All right, this was directed at you, Mr. City Attorney. Sister Teresa, Sister, I can't remember the name, but all she did was want to read from the Bible, and you said she could not. You threw her out of here, sir. Mr. City Attorney, you took away her right. This place needs the Bible in it. So, Mr. City Attorney, I have all the respect for you, but please don't throw her out again. She has a right to speak. She's a great human being. She cares, she loves, and for a transsexual person, she didn't give up. She made the best of what she had. Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. I hope that you'll respect her when she comes up.
Item number 1, item number 3.
Good afternoon. So you have 2 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment.
Thank you so much, Sergeant Duarte. Item number 1. 你有一双会说话的眼睛，你有善解人意的心，不知天高地厚的我，你的微笑总是让我为你着迷。你有一双深情的眼睛，你有融化冰雪的魔力，从来不敢奢求的我，什么原因你硬是让我躲不过去？什么原因你的发香总挥之不去？我的世界什么时候 ？Item number 3。开始昼夜难分，翻天覆地来去，都是因为想你。偷偷地爱上你，却不敢告诉你，因为我知道我给不到你要的东西。只能偷偷地想你，只能偷偷看着你，总是没勇气，偷偷地爱上你，却不敢告诉你，因为我知道我给不到你要的东西，只能偷偷地想你，只能偷偷看着你，总是没勇气，总说不出我是真的爱上你。Let's talk about the law and order. Let's talk about the law and order in the city council. So I have a comments for our LAPD Sergeant Duarte. When we have continued those people disrupting the meeting, continue to having making noises, not abiding the law, not abiding the rule, not abiding the authority, I want to wish our Sergeant Duarte stop getting on your knees to those criminals. Sergeant Duarte, people like me, we need your help. We are relying on you to protect the life and the safety for all of us. Use your 24 inches to make sure everybody in the city council can be safe. Everybody in the city room can be protected, and then this room can be free from any harassment and violence. Sergeant Duarte, we need you. Get up. Sergeant Duarte, use your 24 inches.
Next speaker. Good afternoon. You have 2 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general.
Well,
Please
fuck
begin with the
good
items.
afternoon. I want all my time and my non-public agenda time. For the several of thousands of years, the American people, us blacks, minorities, Asian minorities, white minority niggers too, have suffered under the disguise of building in safety. Why? Why do you put these liens on our properties, Mr. Marchese and CD8? Are you that much a racist to make us homeless? Is that the policy of you, bro? Because I definitely stand for the minority people of this country, not the illegal wetbacks, not the illegal motherfuckers, and not the fucking popo police. For this here protest appeals of objections, and that's why I'm speaking, Mommy Muana, public safety. Then I go into motion number 3, because I can't speak on fucked up number 2, but I definitely know that the city clerk's relative declarations for certified results, am I on topic, Pumpkinhead? Thank you. Next I speak, don't nod. Speak. I'm a grown man. You speak to a man. Don't nod
So I'm going to
like
ask you
a
to stick
pussy.
to the agenda items, please.
Yeah, that's why I eat all the pussy. So, for this reason, the elections, the Los Angeles Unified School District is saying that every illegal immigrant deserves, under Jackie Goldberg, a right to an education. Well, what about the American children? What about our African American children? What about our fucking wetbacks like me that grew up and lived in the United States, motherfucker? Trump! Trump on that. You piece of shit. Now into my non-agenda public comment, 42
so you have
USC
1 minute. Go ahead.
1983. You suck a dick like this, Grote. You suck a dick like this big one. Why would you allow some paid lobbyist, some paid protester to sit on my hand just because I'm a queer? Why is that, bro? And then you are a racist, prejudiced piece of shit with a bar license after you kick Mr. Spindler out for doing nothing during a recess. Put that on the record, you piece of shit. You're gonna get a bar complaint, and the bar is gonna hear more about Stefan Fabo, who sucks a dick like Los Angeles, and you, because we're tired of you manipulating us to believe Los Angeles is a great city. If it were, I could walk out this fucking motherfucking door right now with a nigger with an attitude and I have no motherfucking problem, but I'm afraid of the fucking police!
Speaker, your time's expired. And while we wait for the next speaker to come up, for those of you who are new to this meeting, either virtually or in person, just to be clear, the last speaker or any other speaker do not reflect the views of this city council, and we do have to allow them to speak during general public comment. So again, we appreciate your patience with us and with the speakers. And while we're waiting for the next speaker to come up, I believe there's been some confusion on general public comment. So just to be clear, speaker, go ahead. So for general public comment, for anybody, and I believe Mr. Candido spoke to this as well, when it comes to reading the Bible, it needs to be connected to something that's within the subject matter jurisdiction of this city or something on the agenda. So again, Mr. Candido, this is not a conversation. Please do not disrupt this meeting. So again, if you're going to read anything from the Bible or any other book or quote anything else, it needs to be connected to either an item on the agenda or something within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city. Sorry, next speaker.
Step on a rock, the rock made a sound.
So you have 2 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment.
Tumbling down. I would like to speak on general public comment. And before you start my time, it is relevant. Due to the disruption, I want to pray for those people and also the people that participate.
Going on. Please begin with the items first. So you have 2 minutes for the items.
I'm speaking on general public comment only.
1 minute for general.
Please don't interrupt that time. It is relevant because I'm praying for the council and the people who were hurt. Okay, Job 33. 33 is an important number, Masons and brothers. Wherefore, Job, I pray thee, hear my speeches, and hearken my words. Behold, now I have opened my mouth, my tongue hath spoken in my mouth. My words shall be of uprightness of my heart, and my lips shall utter knowledge clearly. The Spirit of God hath made me. The breath of the Almighty hath given me life. If thou canst answer me, set thy words in order before me, stand up. Behold, I am according to thy wish in God's stead. I am formed out of clay. Behold, my terror shall not make me afraid, neither shall my hand be heavy upon thee. Surely thou hast spoken in mine hearing, and I have heard the voice of thy words, saying, I am clean, without transgression. I am innocent, neither is there iniquity in me. Thank you.
Next speaker.
My name is Noelia, and I used to live on Venice Boulevard under the 405 and CD11 and CD5. I was featured by the mayor's team as an Inside Safe success story, and you can find my interview online on the mayor's page. However, Inside Safe was not my success, it was my demise. It only lasted a few months. One day after oral surgery, I tried to go home and found that my locks had been changed while I was gone. And I was barred from even retrieving any of my belongings. I'm a frail person, and I was even more frail back then, but that day I was also desperate. And for the millionth time, I had absolutely nothing. Someone gave me a tent, but once I set it up, the cops threatened me to arrest me, and that I couldn't place it anywhere under 4118 code, which was basically everywhere. I asked where I could go, but the answer was nowhere. I moved between the street and my friends' places, getting robbed several times, and hustled up to find a placement with the help of some real friends, but at no point was 4118 ever my friend. I didn't want to be on the street. I wanted to curl up by a river and die, and I'm safe now, but I
Speaker,
want
your
to
time has
focus on a
expired.
real
We have to give
safety
everybody
net.
the same amount of time. Next speaker. Next speaker.
Amelia Assange today. I'll take item 3 in general, please.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the item.
Great. In the election, the people made their selection, and today the results are certified. The voters did what this body failed to. Finally, we get to tell him goodbye. Na 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 na. Hey, Kevin, goodbye. Paul threw a party last night in Studio City. They served Pink's hot dogs, which is quite fitting. Farewell to the patty pink-faced dictator, Krikorian. Finally, we can tell you goodbye. Na 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 na, na 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 na. Hey, hey, hey. You got rid of a lot of the crowd who I think might have sang with me on that one. Let me just give it another one really quick. Na 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 na, na 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 na. Hey, 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 goodbye. I don't think we're going to miss Kevin or Paul at all, and it's really funny that today is Jackie Goldberg Day, on a day when she's bragging about getting arrested and missing a Lakers game and all the good things she did for Hollywood. Meanwhile, we're arresting protesters this very day. We had a bunch of people removed this very day for what? Standing up against the corruption that exists in these chambers. And fake progressive Ulysses over here has the nerve to make a speech about it and act like she is helping when she's really part of the problem, enabling all this bullshit. So I say, fuck Jackie Goldberg Day. Let's have National LA City Protester Day, because we're doing the real work that y'all won't. Fuck you, Kevin. We won't miss you.
Good afternoon. Which items would you like to speak to?
Afternoon. Could you make sure the squawk box is on loud for Kevin back there?
So, which items would you like to speak to?
All items and general public comment.
Okay, so you have 2 minutes for the items. That's 1 and 3, and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the items. Go ahead.
Thank you, Grote. Item number 3 is the certification of our election results. And it's just important to remember, we went nearly 2 decades without an incumbent city council member being voted out of office. And now we've had at least one voted out in each of the last 3 cycles. I don't really have that much hope anymore, but I do know there is one thing that will keep y'all somewhat remotely accountable, one way of addressing corruption, and that is a competitive election, either voting you out or scaring you into doing a little bit better. So, just wonder, who's next? This week, the fundraising period opened for 2026 council candidates. Councilmember Parks trying to make sure she's not that person because she's getting out the gates, building up that war chest. Every single odd-numbered district will be on the ballot. And there's nothing personal here, but I think we need strong candidates across the spectrum in every single one of these races. That's why on Wednesday, Unrig LA will be hosting a Zoom training on how to run for office in the city of LA. You can register at bit.ly/unrig1211.
You're welcome to continue this during general, but I'm going to ask that you switch to item number 1 first. Go ahead.
I got it all out there, Grote. So I will move to general public comment.
Okay,
I
so you
am
have 1
worried
minute.
about Disheveled De Leon. He truly appears unwell. I am grateful that he seemed to have at least showered and trimmed that facial hair for today. Wednesday, it looked like if you put a goat puppet on his hand, he'd be looking like Wayne Spindler. My condolences to the council president. You are losing your best friend on the council. And that is the magic of this place. We've seen people like Gil Cedillo and Mitch O'Farrell have their COVID bromance, and now we have the Fed Tapes bromance. It's just really cute to see the way that we can all come together. On Kevin's note, he's not done. And that's not just, the idea that he might get a senior advisor job and find a landing place here, but he's not done. He's got an art project. I don't know how many of you have heard about it. I gave some of y'all a heads up, but he's got a fun art project in the chamber, and you're all in it too. So, look forward to that coming out. Have a nice weekend.
Before the next speaker begins.
Good afternoon. If you could please
Speaking on
remind...
agenda item number 1 in public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the item. Go ahead.
So, for the property on 88th, Marquise Harris Dawson in District 8, your lazy ass has done nothing. We have abandoned properties all over, on Century and Hoover, on 104th and Avalon. Monica Rodriguez, you took care of your district in getting that vacant trash lot at that home cleared out. Marquise Harris Dawson hasn't done shit on 104th and Avalon. Trash is in the street, creating problems for children and pedestrians and people in wheelchairs who cannot get through. I have went on 311 repeatedly and made this an item to be picked up, and nothing happens. And they are fraudulently closing my complaints. I have them in my phone. Fuck this city council. Now I'm going to go to general comment.
Okay, so
Good
you have 1
morning.
minute.
Fuck the entire racist poop butt city council. Deny, defend, depose. Fuck Karen Bass, Sleazy Marquise Dawson, and IBW Local 18. If Monica Rodriguez fixed the home trash lot situation in her district, why haven't you cleaned up District 8, which has a vacant trash lot, an apartment building full of pedophiles, and trash on Avalon and Century, in which a woman was shot and killed by an AK-47 in her apartment? Street takeovers, but Marquise Sleazy, president of the city council. Marquise Sleazy Dawson, District 8 looks like a third world country compared to District 10 and District 2. Clean my fucking neighborhood up, or I will come to your office on Vermont with friends of my community who want change every day, motherfuckers. I am an educated gangster. Know the difference. Your council members, you have to suck dick and kiss ass to get ahead. Defend, depose, then flee. Salute to that motherfucking hero. I'm from Watts. I do not have to suck dick and kiss ass. Church, motherfuckers. Defy, deny, defend, depose.
Speaker,
Salute to that
your time
hero.
has expired. Next speaker. So, sir with the hat who just spoke, please do not disrupt this meeting. We need to move on to the next speaker.
I think
Good
he said fuck
afternoon.
LAWWP because they call
Good
it Department
afternoon.
of White People.
Which items would you like to speak to?
You said 2 wasn't available, right?
Correct. 1 and 3 are the only items open.
1 and 3 in general public comment,
Okay,
please.
so you have 2 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the items. Go ahead.
Cool. I actually met the lady that takes care of the liens a little while ago. Oh, shit. It was like a fucking hour and a half ago because all these stupid fucking presentations. And she was coming at me aggressive, the lien lady, because she didn't like the way I was responding to the escalation of an officer that's escalated with me before. This is the lady that handles the liens, and she was getting involved in a situation that she didn't really know what was going on. So if that's the person that's organizing the liens, then maybe we need a different person doing that. I don't know. She seems polite enough, but she seems a little ignorant and quick to jump the gun without having all the facts. So maybe some of these property owners, maybe they didn't need a lien, a nuisance abatement, or anything like that. Maybe she just got her nose in somebody's business and she didn't really know all the fucking shit that was up in the sauce, but she wanted to be all up in the sauce. She don't even know what's going on. Item number 3 is about the certification of the elections. I want to congratulate Heather Hutt because she proved herself. She won she won pretty handedly, so nobody can really talk shit on her race. She's also like probably the most polite one here. Y'all are pretty disgusting, to be honest. The rest of y'all, I really hope I never said anything bad about that lady because she's been pretty nice. But then you got Ulysses to her side nodding along, but she's a disgrace. And then you got Harris Dawson, which I don't even know how he won his race when he gave away public land to the Marriott Hotel. So Ulysses looking pretty next to Heather Hutt. I don't know. Maybe she got more money now. I know she got bangs and her makeup all done up, but it's really a disgrace, to be honest. She's laughing because she thinks it's cute, but people out here don't think it's cute no more. These races are they're a joke. Heather Hutt won because she's really sweet. Maybe she'll do a really good job. I hope she does. And if I ever move to her district, I'll support her. But the rest of y'all are fucking disgusting, and it's really a shame how y'all don't pay attention to her comment and you laugh like it's a joke, but it's not.
General public comment.
Sean Murphy wanted to let y'all know that he hated Paul Krikorian, and he hopes he goes and fucks himself. And he doesn't care if he gets shot. That was Sean Murphy. That wasn't my words. I try to warn y'all about the people, the will of the people. You didn't listen. And now an insurance executive got killed, and everybody cheered it on. Corruption is on the menu, and everybody's looking to get served. This rock represents the rock that David hit Goliath with to show that no giant is too big for anybody that has heaven's mandate within them. And this stick represents Yahya Sinwar's stick, which he threw at the Zionist occupation, the genocidal maniacs, to show that no matter what, no matter how big the enemy, even Israel itself, even if royalty, even your bullshit authority, we'll throw the last stick we have at y'all. I'm going to submit these for the record. Y'all are pretty disgusting, and I warned y'all. And I'm not crazy, but there's a lot of crazy people out here, and they're going to do something. I warned y'all.
Speaker, your time has expired. Next speaker.
I'm with Palms and House Mutual Aid. We work in CD5 and CD11. The disruption you saw earlier was love. It came from love of our people on the street that are powerless, harassed, and pushed around by this council's inhumane 4118 policy. It came from love, and just like Krikorian was concerned about his family seeing it, we're concerned about our friends and family living in deadly structural brutality every day. The RAND Corporation studies explicitly show 4118 only displaces people and exacerbates inhumane situations for the unhoused, because there really is no place to go and the rent is too damn high. These are not personal responsibility issues. These are structural issues that this council can attend to. A temporary cleanup in one neighborhood becomes an encampment in another, and now the neighborhood residents you want to please are waking up to that fact. We see this in CD11, where refugees from the Venice sweeps and under the 405 seek shelter near Iona Creek. We can turn this around, start real housing offers with dignity and stability, with no vague promises. Councilmember Blumenfeld, the disruption you saw was not nostalgia, it is the future, in here and in the streets until the war on the poor stops. Repeal 4118. Kevin De Leon never looked better.
Mr. De Leon.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair or Madam President. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I want to take this opportunity to thank the incredible staff members of City Council District 14 who are just amazingly hardworking staff, amazingly, incredibly loyal staff. I know there's a handful of folks around the horseshoe as well within the executive branch who are going to benefit greatly from many of my staff members. But Madam President, as well as colleagues, I wanted to give it up to my City Hall staff members who are part of my administrative team, and that is Eva Camacho, Cynthia Castellanos, as well as Noe Chan. I wanted to give out to my comms team, that is no other than Pete Brown, Leslie Gama, Yareli Diaz, my planning and policy team, Sarah Flaherty here, just right behind, Gerald Gubiton, Davida Corin, as well as Stephen Bautista. My executive team, my incredible chief of staff, Jennifer Barrazas, as well as Nate Hayward. My homelessness team, as you all know, we're #1 in the entire city of LA for getting folks off the street and putting a roof over their head. That is Jose Mendez, as well as Brian Herarte. My DTLA team, Christopher Antonelli, Adriana Velasquez, as well as Roberto Perez. My Boyle Heights office team, Susana Lopez, Nancy Torres, Manuel Escamilla, Jason Gomez. My El Sereno office, Julio Torres and Kathy Leal. My Northeast office, that being Eagle Rock, Alice Roth, Aldo Ramirez, Martin Perez. My Lincoln Heights office, Cynthia Cruz and Stephen Rodriguez. Madam President, I also wanted to give a very heartfelt, special thank you and recognition to all of the council sergeants that we have here from the LAPD that protect us every single day and hold court and order. I wanted to give them a special recognition to the CLA team headed up by Sharon So. Thank you very much for working very closely with our team to effectuate what I believe will be some groundbreaking policies in the city of LA. To Matt Sabo, who's not here at this moment, but to him and the CAO office as well, I want to thank them very much. To the city clerk and the city clerk's office, thank you so very much for processing all the important policies and memos and motions that we move forward. Channel 35, I want to give a very special thank you to all my fellow council members here. To them, as well as to the individual staff members as well. And not just the principals around this horseshoe, but to the staff members here as well, who have comported themselves in such a manner, a dignified manner, working closely with my staff members. To all the folks, I want to thank you very much. I want to wish the very best to all of you, my colleagues here. I want to wish the very best to our new council president, Marquise Harris Dawson, as you usher in a new group of individuals who will be coming here. To my opponent, to Isabel Jurado, I want to wish her nothing but the very best. And to Isabel Jurado, I'm just a phone call or text away for anything that you may need, any expertise inside, behind the scenes, wherever it may be, overtly or covertly. Please feel free to give me a holler or send a text. I want to thank, again, all the City Hall family for their incredible work and working closely with all the department heads. All the department heads have been quite incredible. There's a handful of department heads that we worked with very, very closely, but I want to thank all of the incredible department heads in the city of LA. I know as we enter a new period, it's going to be tough given the structural deficit that we have here at the local level, the structural deficit that we have here in Sacramento, California, and just a new regime in Washington, D.C. But I trust that collectively, all of you folks with staff and department heads will be able to steer us in the right direction during stormy waters that are coming before us today. But I want to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart. Lastly, I want to say is that for City 14, we will leave an unprecedented amount of dollars, approximately $445 million. This is unheard of. In either a city as a whole or let alone a city council district. I want to give a few highlights. $47.5 million for Skid Row. $37.7 million for Boyle Heights. $33 million for Hollenbeck Park. $34 million for Valley Boulevard. $41 million for the Downtown Women's Center. $30 million for the Little Tokyo Service Center for Affordable Housing Project. That is just a small example. $164 million from the 710 mobility dollars. Now, be mindful, every single dollar that I just mentioned is outside of the LA city budget. This is not part of the LA City budget. This is not part of the general fund budget. It's not part of any special funds from within the city of LA. These are dollars that I use, my discretionary dollars, to hire experts, outside consultants, to sort of put the package together, and we actually apply for the money. It's rather unusual. It's rather unorthodox, without a doubt, but we competed with City of San Jose, City of San Diego, City of Fresno, City of San Rafael, City of Sacramento, even the City of LA, when they were reviewing the applications. We applied through City Council District 14, and we were able to score $445 million. Be mindful, colleagues, that this money is unfungible, which means it can't be utilized for any issues that are not germane to the project itself, and also to they're not to be commingled. In other words, you can't commingle it for any other issues that are not germane to the project itself. So I'm just hoping that that amount of money, and I know many of you here through your leadership will carry it forward and make sure that we effectuate the positive changes that will come to City 14 as well as the entire city of Los Angeles. So from the bottom of my heart, Council President Marquise Harris Dawson, Madam President Monica Rodriguez, to all my colleagues, Kathy Yarosowski, Hugo Soto Martinez, Ms. Nithya Raman, Mr. Curran Price, Tracy Park, Imelda Padilla, Bob Blumenfield, who's not here today, Paul Krikorian, who was a little here earlier, Council President Emeritus, Eunice Hernandez, Councilwoman Heather Hutt, as well as John Lee and Tim McCosker. I wish you all collectively nothing but the best and much success as you move forward for the betterment of your respective districts, as well as the city as a whole. And just one last thing, to all the incredible staff members here today, I want to thank you very much, because whether you worked for me or you worked for other staff members, we have collaborated, we have cooperated together, and from the bottom of my heart, I thank each and every one of you. Thank you very much. Gracias.
Thank you, Mr. De Leon. Mr. Harris Dawson.
Thank you so much, Madam. Thank you. Thank you so much, Madam President. I want to rise to thank Councilmember De Leon for his service. As you stand here today, you and I and the council and the public have been through one of the toughest set of political relationships and professional relationships that we've ever had. And you stand here today standing tall, having gone through it and run through the tape, and in many cases recovered and continue to work on recovery. And I just want to thank you for maintaining a high level of professionalism through the end. And I want the public to know this, just 2 days ago, we had almost 300 people in the rotunda waiting to have a meeting, and it was a committee that you were on that was struggling to make quorum. And I called you, and you picked up at the doctor's office. And I said, I got to have you for quorum, because we got to take care of this issue for these folks that have shown up to City Hall. And you said, my doctor's appointment will be over in 10 minutes. I'll be there. And you showed up, and you did not have to do that at all. You could have said, you know what? I'm taking my marbles. I'm going home. I'm going to the beach to enjoy the last few days. And so I appreciate you for that, and the care with which you've handled the city, despite all the controversies that has surrounded the time that you've been here. And so with that, on behalf of this council, thank you very much, Councilmember Kevin De Leon.
Thank you, Mr. Harris Dawson.
I don't have much to say, but I do want to just kind of put it out there. There's a lot of moments where this feels like it's a thankless job, given the amount of hours and the work that we do and the things that we come to in the office, right? But I know that, as mentioned, there's been a lot of controversy that you've been having to deal with in the last almost a year or two. I know. And I know that wasn't easy, but I know for myself, I know that since I've been here, I've noticed that you have just tried really hard to at least get the work done and not forget that while you were here, that it is about the constituents who placed you here in the first place. Mm-hmm. So for everyone that wondered or is critical, are you supporting Kevin De Leon? Are you, on his side or whatnot? At the end of the day, we're colleagues and we're here to support things that happen in our district. So for myself, it was always important for me to know that when and if I partnered with you, it was because I knew that what you were doing was for your district. So thank you for what you've done to your district, and I wish you the best, and congratulations on the work you were able to accomplish, not just here, but even before.
Okay, sergeants, would you please escort the gentleman disrupting the meeting? You've already had a warning, sir. Stop disrupting this meeting. Rob Kwan, you're excused from the meeting. Thank you. Mr. Price.
Thank you, Madam President. I too just want to join in thanking Kevin for his service. I certainly got to know him best in Sacramento, where he came to the council, worked on many projects. He certainly had an eye for the people, a heart to get things done, and I think you certainly have reflected that. Of course, the situation was unfortunate that occurred on tape, and I know you've been making some real strides to atone for that. I know that process is still ongoing, but I certainly appreciate your willingness to give, to extend, to share, and to be humble, and to know that service is making things happen for people. So, again, thanks for your service, and look forward to your continued success.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Lee.
Mr. De Leon, I just want to say thank you. We know this job comes with sacrifices that we have to make, and I'm appreciative to anybody who throws their hat in the ring knowing that. And you've done that for so many years because you are a person who has really cared for their community, and it's something that I've had the privilege of seeing here and working with you here in the City Council. You know, you and I may not have always agreed on every subject, but I know that you have a sincere concern for the people that live and the people that you represent. I think it says a lot about a person when their staff sticks with them through good times and bad times, that type of loyalty is not something that's bought or anything, it's something that's earned. And that shows a lot about your character. And I just want to say thank you for your service, your friendship, and everything that you've done for that small, your small slice of the city of Los Angeles, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. Ms. Park.
Thank you, Madam President. I like the way that sounds. Mr. De Leon, I hate goodbyes, so I refuse to consider this one just so long for now, and I know I'll see you around. I wanted to just note the incredible forward progress that you made in your time in this position here in the city of Los Angeles. Your constituents in Council District 14 are better off for your service. The incredible work that you did with your parks, your meals programs, the homeless, the rapid expansion of housing has been nothing short of remarkable. But it isn't just your years here in this council. I think you have been a true public servant your entire adult life. And so I really just want to thank you and commend you for the leadership that you've demonstrated, the grace under very difficult, trying times. And on behalf of CD11, you've been a friend and a reliable supporter. And even on things that you and I didn't agree on, I have appreciated your support of my leadership, the deference to my judgment in bringing forth the policies and the agenda that I need to advance on behalf of my constituents. And I really appreciate that, and I know that you've done that for others in this room as well. We're going to miss you, I'm going to miss you, and I wish you all of the best, Kevin.
Thank you, Ms. Park. And Mr. De Leon, I think, I know you've had a lot of professional relationships with a number of individuals from the state legislature that certainly precede us working directly with one another. But by reputation, you were among those that I grew up learning about because of your advocacy, fighting for the most vulnerable individuals that were not recognized at a time that it wasn't in vogue, when that wasn't the norm, when you were working at One Stop Immigration, when you were organizing during 187, when some people weren't even born yet. That that is the legacy that you continue to carry, is that you, by example, by your life's example, have been that stalwart individual that has fought for workers' rights, that has fought for immigrant rights, and may all of us have the guts to stand strong and remake ourselves after the worst moments of our life. That's all we can do, is pick ourselves back up from any vulnerable moments that any one of us could ever experience. And so thank you for fighting for your district. Thank you for fighting for our communities. Thank you for being a partner for so many of us. And I thank you for your incredible years of public service, because there is a long-lasting legacy that you leave from the state legislature to here in local government. So thank you for your service. Thank you.